Alberto, nice to be with you again. We've met several times. Good to be here and talk about revenue.
Perfect. So really nice to catch up with you as well, Pau. I think the topic of today, what we have pending to discuss, was about your view and my view on price optimization and distribution, correct?
Exactly. Yeah. So we had several discussions about that, and it's a good moment to put everything together, or to optimize all our conversations here.
Perfect. So first of all, before I introduce you, Bob, because some might know you, some others might not. First of all, thanks everyone for joining and watching this session online. Just to introduce you briefly, so Pau, it's a business partner and co-founder at 123 Compare Me. And basically, and correct me if I'm mistaken, you live all related to growth. You specialized in pricing and distribution, and you really audit all clients and really help them understand better if the strategy is correct and if the partners they're working with are really compliant with the agreements. I don't know if that's a fair introduction, Pau.
Yes, that's exactly. So the company helps hotels and other groups to ensure that the pricing strategy they have with their partners, with the distributors, it's fine, nice, and it goes accordingly. And inside this main vision of the company, I work on making the company grow. Exactly.
Amazing. So just to introduce myself briefly, because many others might not know me either. I expect anyone to know me, of course. My name is Alberto, and I represent Ideas in the Southern Europe as a sales director. And basically, my role in Ideas is to help hoteliers with the revenue strategy, and we do this mostly via our revenue management system, G3. So hello, everyone, and thanks again for being here. Pau, I wanted to get your view on distribution and revenue management. And since this is really the topic, I don't know if you can share with me what are your thoughts on distribution and its evolution, and what do you feel are really the one or two key aspects that hoteliers should consider in revenue in distribution from a revenue management perspective.
Mm-hmm. Yes, the distribution it's an amazing area of hospitality, because the last 20 years all our industry grew a lot thanks to this symbiosis between the hotels and OTAs and meters and so on. That has created a huge amount of value, and that's why we have to be very aware of and take a lot of care of this special relationship. And what we see from this experience, and also from what is happening on the airlines industry, that they are a little bit more advanced than hospitality, is that this revenue management has two sides that I think that Ideas and 123 Compare Me reflect very well. One is the adjustment of pricing according to demand. That is, I will not say a lot about that because this is your specialty. But the other side is the adjustment of pricing through the different channels. So the price of a hotel room, it's not the price that appears on the direct on the booking engine. It's all the prices in the booking engine, in OTAs, in meters, wherever. And having all those prices fixed, controlled, it provides an awesome amount of value, as it does the automation of those modifications that you do with hotels as Ideas. And I think this is the way, the place where hotels, so revenue management focus on them, they will get an incredible amount of value, and it will have a big impact on the gross margin of the company.
All right. So I agree. I think you mentioned two things. No? So you were talking about automation and control, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So exactly. I could not agree more, because with what you just mentioned, no, about giving the hoteliers the possibility to automate the processes and also to have control at the same time. No, I think that giving that possibility of letting technology help hoteliers when it comes to automation, saving time, reducing human errors, I think is very important these days. And I don't know what your view is, but I still feel that some hoteliers are a bit reluctant to giving some sort of control, or let's say automation to a machine. in my view, it's already the present and more the future. So automation is really not here to replace anyone, but I believe to help with those tasks that you were precisely mentioning a minute ago that are more heavy, to actually do all the heavy lifting, so people can focus in ways to improve their strategy, creative thinking, and those sort of things, while at the same time, of course, keeping full control on what the machine is actually helping them with. In our case, for example, as you mentioned, price control, or inventory controls, whatever it is. The machine is really there to help. And I think the question was about tips for future. What is that gonna head towards to? And I think it's a bit of what you mentioned, and I fully agree, is around automation and giving them better tools to control their revenues.
Mm-hmm. In fact, just to mention what it means not having your tool. Last 2 weeks ago, I was in a conference, and one small other groups, they decided to do it manually. So they had a team, 24 hours of 3 revenue managers, 24 hours, 7 days a week, reviewing prices on Excel and changing it all the time. So that was, it's impossible to manage. It's very difficult that you really have results with that. So automation, it's a future. We have the tools, we have the amount of data to do good predictions. So we have to go this way.
Fully agree. Well, thanks for your view. Pau, you should introduce me to that group, by the way. I think we can do
it. I will. We talk later. One of the other topics that it's very interesting. And now what, right? So what is the evolution that we expect from here on? The way the hoteliers price their product evolved. It's not what we're doing today. It's not the same, but we 10 years ago. In your case, Alberto, and ideas, what would you say is the main factor that will be influencing the way hoteliers will be pricing their product in the future?
Yeah, this is a very interesting topic, and I think a lot has been said about that. And I think it's a bit of the obvious, no? That's at least how I see it, no? So the main factor is the need to really offer personalized experiences, no? And really coming up with products that are really tailor-made to the needs of a specific guest in a specific moment. I saw a recent research, I think it was from Cornell University, that mentioned that if the experiences that we offer are, let's say, more personalized, hoteliers, guests are willing to spend up to 10-15% more than they do if you do not offer a personalized experience. I think that's. I mean, yes, there's a research there, but in the end, it's a little bit of the obvious. We are looking for personalization. Everyone doesn't want to feel like just a number, but really that whatever company you're dealing with or whichever services you're purchasing, that you really feel is really tailored to your needs, and that you don't feel just like a number, let's say. So I think what this is heading towards to, and it is something that we've been working in ideas already for a long time, is on really this. Giving the choice to guests to buy an experience that is really tailored to what they actually need. And what we came up with, it's an industry topic, but something we've been working on is on attribute-based selling, so ABS. And this is basically giving the possibility to guests. So instead of buying just one room as it is traditionally offered, for example, on an online channel on the website, to give them the chance to buy, for instance, the room on itself, and then add on top those attributes, that they feel are more relevant to the stay. So, for example, if someone wants a room with a balcony and have X-specific view and X-specific amenities, for example, or experience, that they can purchase that, similar to when you buy, a pizza, that you buy the margarita and then on top you put whichever ingredients are there. My view is that, it is something that from the idea side we are ready to deploy, and something that we've been working on for the last few years already. But I think as let's say leaders in this industry, when it comes to connectivity, something that I think all partners, we should work together to make sure that this is really real, that actually hoteliers can benefit from this. So it's a bit of both. Again, is something that is already here, and that we should all work together towards making this a realization, or something that really hoteliers can benefit from in the very short term. So that's my view.
Yeah, in fact, it's very interesting that because we had a similar discussion, let's say, in our world where we compare the same room through different channels, the price of the same room through different channels. And here too, you can work on this attribute-based selling, because one of the, I mean, at the end, the hotel is the one who controls the product. So he can sell different products through different channels. That means, for example, and something that we already have seen in some places, the rooms with a sea view, they are only sold directly. And on the contrary, right, these kind of things. And maybe rooms, suites with double, you specify a certain other channel, and that's a way to avoid this fighting on margins and on price through the different channels who have to work in fact together, because you sell different attributes through different channels. So it's a different topic, not a different topic, it's a different way to see the same topic about the experience that you mentioned, right?
So yeah, fully agree with that, Pau. Thanks for sharing your view.
There was another thing that I thought it was interesting on price, is that prices could vary depending of the moment that we are on our purchase, right? We've seen, and I was now today talking with a friend, with a colleague, who was buying a flight, an airplane ticket, and who saw an increase in price at the second search. So the first search was 100, on the second search was 120. So all those things, it also have to come into consideration when we think on the pricing evolution, how it will, what we will have in the near future. Okay.
Yeah, I was told you just need to change computers when that happens, but it doesn't work.
Exactly.
Pau, let me ask you something, and changing a little bit. I mean, it's linked to the topic, but what key aspects? Because we are talking about data here. We're talking about implementing strategies, etc., etc. What would you suggest to any hotelier that is watching us at this moment they should really consider when implementing a data-driven strategy at a hotel?
Good question, because there are so many things to say and to do. I think that the basics is any decision has to be taken based on data. We know that. As one boss of mine, when I started working, said, if what you want to say, it's based on data, I will hear you. If it's your opinion, mine is better, and it's true. So opinion is easy. Opinion, everyone has a different one, but when you work based on data, then you are establishing some clear rules for the team or your client to work together. Data, it's only the basics, right? So from data, we move through information. All these, in our case, all these prices, when we organize them and we place them on the right context, it provides us information. With this information, we have insights of what will be the right thing to do, and then we take decisions and actions. So it's taking decisions and actions. This is very important also, not only take a decision, but execute it. Without data, it brings you the wrong result. Fortunately, for the hospitality industry, there are many technologies based on data that each one tackles a different topic or a different area of concern. As we mentioned in the beginning, right? You are a lot working on automation of pricing decision. We're working out of correction of pricing strategy, and the use of these tools that, by the way, they can be used even for independent hotel, because they don't need to, many times they don't need to use it themselves. They can hire a consultant or a revenue company who manages that for them. It's key for them to have awesome results. In fact, the huge amount of earnings that hospitality companies, hotels have been able to get is thanks to the fact that they base their decisions on revenue management and on the data technology based on that, right?
Yeah, is what you said is very right. Like when you confront people with data, there's no more discussion or gut feeling, because this is the data, and then it really helps making all decisions, whether it's corrections in your case or whether it's optimizing pricing in our case, as you mentioned. Another topic is whether the data they have is of quality or not. Because I don't know if you've encountered this, but sometimes I talk to some of our prospects or clients, and they have all sorts of data. It's not that they did not make any efforts on collecting data or anything like that. They did that effort, but then when you go into looking on the actual data that is usable, maybe not everything is usable or only part of it. So one consideration relating to the topic is that whichever data that you use, people should not get obsessed with using a lot of data, but really making sure that the data they use is of quality, because you can have all sources of data that you cannot use or utilize in a good way, and then it's just, as I call it, noise, to the rest of the database that you have. So that's one thing, really having clean data and of quality. And second aspect, coming back to this example that I was giving you of hoteliers having plenty of data all over, is just make sure that sometimes, I don't know if you've seen it, but some are working with, for instance, I don't know, someone in the company is looking at, when it comes to looking, for instance, I don't know, at their price evolution. Some of them is looking at their PMS, some of them is looking at the BI, some of them is looking at, I don't know what. They have all sources of data. So I think it's really key as well, making sure that all the data sources are really well connected and they are used by everyone simultaneously. Not that everyone is working on a different tool, let's say. And on our end in ideas, there's actually ways to basically solve that problem. No, people working with multiple data sources and everyone using their own, and then really data sources not communicating properly. So to summarize, in my view, again, using data that is of quality, and secondly, that all the data that we're using is actually connected within the hotelier ecosystem.
Yes, very, very, very true. In fact, this is even more relevant today that we have such a huge amount of data that in truth, it's not necessary to have it all. It's just that the one that you are using, it's good enough. One of the things that I think that we improve in the industry is that when we try to follow up on the prices that hotels have on direct and through different channels, we don't compare the ones that the channel says they are using, but we go directly to the website of the channel and we see by ourselves, well, with the technology, what they exactly showing. And we've seen that, for example, a very interesting case that we all know about, that if I ask Booking.com what price are they offering for my hotel, and they say 100, and that's true, it's 100, but when you go to the website, it happens that they have Genius One activated for everyone, so instead of 100, it's 90. If you take the decision on the data of 100, it's not so good. You have to take the decision on the data of 90. So critical, the quality of the data is essential, more than the amount of data. True.
Exactly. Amazing. The example you gave is huge. You're talking about a huge percentage, so going from 100 to 90, and no one spotted in that is it's a big deal to multiply that by. Yes, I invite people to do the math. It's just one room, but if imagine you have a 500 hotel room, or you have a whole group, those 10 years multiply by 30 calendar days, X number of rooms, 365 days, X number of hotels. I mean, is massive.
It's massive. Yes, it is.
Pau, I think we are almost about time. I think you have to go somewhere. I also need to go somewhere just now, so I hope we can catch up very, very soon when I'm in Barcelona, or you pass by the south of Spain. And it's been really a pleasure talking to you. I hope we can have the occasion to repeat this sort of session in the future. And just wanted to thank you and thank everyone for watching this session. And please feel free to reach out to us, to either Pau, in case you have any questions or need some advice or guidance, and the same on my end. So thanks a lot.
Thank you, Alberto.
Thank you, Pau. Have a nice evening.